Hello again. Welcome to TVC News this hour. We're staying with the developing story on the xenophobic attacks in South Africa and the reprisals back here in Nigeria. The diplomatic tensions between both countries may rise now as Nigeria has recalled the High Commissioner to South Africa, Kabiru Bala. Nigeria has also pulled out of the World Economic Forum on Africa ongoing in Cape Town, South Africa, billed to take place from the 4th to the 6th of September. Well, these decisions were taken at a meeting chaired by President Muhammadu Buhari with Vice President Yemi Osinbajo and Minister for Foreign Affairs Geoffrey Onyama in attendance. Earlier, the Democratic Republic of Congo, Rwanda and Malawi all pulled out of the ongoing event. But will these moves make the situation better?
See the way they burn the shops. They burn the shop, all the cars in the shop. See the way the South Africans are treating foreigners.
The recent xenophobic attacks in South Africa is still green in the minds of Nigerians, with several individuals seeking boycotts of South African businesses, such as MTN and ShopRite. The presidents of Rwanda, Democratic Republic of Congo, and Malawi decided not to attend the World Economic Forum hosted by South Africa in the face of ongoing looting and burning of small businesses. Zambia also cancelled a friendly football match with South Africa's national team for security concerns. Nigerians took to several parts of the country to express their grievances. Worst it is ShopRite in Lekki, Lagos, which was invaded by protesters who threw down items from the shelves. Police were called in, and in trying to put things under control, one person was shot dead. Ikeja City Mall also saw a peaceful demonstration. The protesters carried placards to show their displeasure over the attacks on foreigners in South Africa. And a lone demonstrator went to the ShopRite in Surulere to protest. Outside Lagos, reports say hoodlums burned down the MTN office in Ibadan, the Oyo State capital, while some youth in Uyo also invaded the MTN office along Ikotekpene Road, Uyo, Akwa Ibom State, among other places in the country. But are these steps really the solution to the crisis that has come as an unending nightmare? In a bid to end the retaliatory attacks, the federal government is appealing to Nigerians to stop attacking South African businesses, as the investors and workers in the companies are Nigerians. In a statement by the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, targeting South African companies in Nigeria is akin to cutting off one's nose to spite the face. He also assured Nigerians that the government is taking measures to put an end to persistent xenophobic attacks on Nigerians in South Africa. One of the affected businesses, ShopRite Nigeria, is also standing in solidarity with Nigerians. As it says, thousands of its employees are African nationals. Hence, they would like to see an end to xenophobic attacks. They also appeal to the general public of South Africa and Nigeria to protect the human dignity and safety of every person living in both countries. With all these unfolding events, many believe giving peace a chance may douse the tensions created by these attacks.
And just as efforts to douse the tensions caused by the xenophobic attacks in South Africa continue, an inferno has gutted the Bodija office of telecoms giant MTN. Senior firefighter in the state, Ojayinka Samuel, who spoke at the scene of the incident, explained that investigations are still going on to ascertain the cause of the incident. Nigerians who spoke with TVC News in Oyo State also called for caution in handling the tensions.
Today, you cannot prevent mobility of labor. Mobility of labor is an international thing. If Nigerians are prospering in South Africa, the Nigeria didn't hinder South Africans for prospering in their own land and also prospering everywhere.
In a bid to forestall further attacks now, MTN Nigeria has announced the closure of all its service outlets and offices until further notice. In a statement released on Wednesday, the telecommunications company said it has confirmed attacks on its facilities in Lagos, Ibadan and Uyo. MTN also condemned acts of violence, prejudice and xenophobia. The telecoms company says it remains absolutely committed to ensuring a peaceful, harmonious and respectful relationships with all communities in Nigeria and across Africa. Meanwhile, the death toll of Nigerians killed in South Africa continues to rise with the frequent xenophobic attacks that has occurred between 2016 and this year. Available estimates from statistics in South Africa and the United Nations show that more than 30,000 Nigerians live in South Africa. Here's a cursory look at the killings of Nigerians in 2019 alone.
Data reveal that over 130 Nigerians have been killed in 3 years, while 13 out of these were reportedly killed by South African police. The most disturbing of these killings are extrajudicial killings by the operatives of South African Police Service. February the 3rd, xenophobic killing started with a picture of an unknown Nigerian who is in his mid-20s being shared with claims that the South African police killed him. On March the 15th, another unidentified Nigerian was killed in a drive-by shooting in Troy Street, Sunnyside, Pretoria. Eyewitnesses say the attackers were trailing his car and drove beside him when he stopped, shooting him multiple times. On April the 5th, Gozie Makpenyi was stabbed to death at Belleville Stadium parking lot in Cape Town at about 1 p.m. by 3 unidentified colored South African men after an argument and died on the spot. On April 6, 2019, 48-year-old Bonnie Uwoha from Imo State was also stabbed to death at about 11:45 p.m. in Johannesburg. On April 27th, 34-year-old Nigerian Samuel Ikenaya was killed by some South Africans. His attackers claimed to have thought he kidnapped a 6-year-old girl he was holding. On 13th of June, a Nigerian insurance chief, Obianuju Mdubuisi Chuku, was killed in a hotel room. She was found dead in a room at Emperor's Palace Hotel after attending a meeting of the African Insurance Organization in the South African commercial capital. Her death sparked outrage both in Nigeria and South Africa, with the Nigerian Senate urging President Muhammad Buhari to issue a travel alert on South Africa. On June the 14th, Maxwell Ikechukwu Okoye was reportedly killed by South African police officers in the dead of the night. The police invaded his house in Ladysmith in KwaZulu-Natal province. By morning, the police reported him dead, claiming he was filming when they broke into his house. On July the 20th, a 17-year-old Chinonso Biaju was also killed in Johannesburg. And in August the 7th, one of the latest killings of Nigerian in South Africa was another Nigerian taxi driver, Joseph Ajuna, who was stabbed several times by passengers who went to pick in Inyanga location, Cape Town, South Africa. This comes less than a week when Benjamin Simeon, also a Nigerian taxi driver who hails from Oposi, Ebonyi State, was killed in Johannesburg. And Nigerians continue to demand the intervention of the government to put an end to the killings and safeguard the lives and property of Nigerians in South Africa and other countries.
Let's get fresh perspective to all the violence occurring here in Nigeria and South Africa. Now, Global Affairs Analyst Collins Uweke joins me now to discuss this. Thank you very much, Collins Uweke, for joining me at this time. Talking about this recall of Nigeria's High Commissioner in South Africa and the decision not to attend the ongoing World Economic Forum, what would these all achieve?
Well, I hope they achieve the desired aim, which of course is putting an end to this madness, this xenophobic attack. Now, I do hope also that this is not just symbolical. Symbolical in the sense that Nigeria may have acted simply to show that they are not idle, that they are doing something. Because I would expect that since 3 years, when the first attack occurred and has been increasing since then, one would have expected that Nigeria would get into very serious business with South Africa, but also using the same, Nigerian High Commission to organize, town hall meetings not only with Nigerians but also local communities to begin to build bridges and, enhance ethnic, intercultural relations. I have no evidence that any of these happened. Now, this kind of reaction of recalling the High Commissioner and boycotting the Economic Forum, these are all well and good, but I hope they are not panic reactions. Nigeria needs to put in place a strategic plan to begin to deal with these issues, not panic reaction such as this recall.
And quickly, in an unprecedented twist now, reprisals are occurring in the country. Here in Nigeria, what do you make of that?
Well, that is simply adding fuel to fire. Because reprisal actions are not going to solve any problems at all. They will simply inflame the situation. They will simply make it worse. There are better ways, peaceful ways of showing Nigeria's discontent that does not cost any further life, yet sends very strong message and achieves, the goal of stopping the xenophobic attack. That is what Nigeria should be doing, facilitated by the government, represented by the High Commission, and indeed, let's not forget that recently, Nigerian Diaspora Commission was put in place. This, for want of few words, this is one of the things that they are supposed to be, working on. As of today, nobody knows exactly what is happening there. But, we are happy that somebody like Dr. Sule Basi, as the executive secretary, is there, and we hope that he will, get onto this and roll out a plan to deal with this issue permanently and long term.
Collins Oweke, thank you so much for your contributions on the news.